So my name is James Massey, and today we're going to talk about how to get your fee on buyer side transactions regardless what the co-op is in the MLS. So if you like the information that you're going to hear today, go ahead and hit like and subscribe to my channel. All right, so here we go. Let's get into it. So one of the problems that I found is that most real estate agents do not know how much they're going to make on buy-side transactions whenever working with buyers. And what I mean by that, just giving you an idea of what I'm talking about. So a $400,000 buyer comes in, right? And that $400,000 buyer comes in and you get them in front of the lender and they get approved. So the first thing we start doing is we get excited because it's like we start adding like our 3%, so 3% on $400,000. All right, so that's like 12 grand. So like right away, you're thinking that on that particular buyer, you're gonna make $12,000, and now it's just a matter of just finding them the right house. So we go out and we send them some properties to look at, but what ends up happening is that particular buyer, because they have access to Zillow, because they have access to Realtor.com and all these other services, they start looking themselves and they find their own house. So they send you a house and they send the house out, and then right away, you're getting excited because it's like, all right, this right here might fit what they're looking for. But then you start looking down on the co-op fee for that house, and you see, guess what? 2.5%, 2%, 1% or whatever. So like, what do most agents do when they see that? So like, somebody's like, well, I'm not gonna show that house because it's that price low. Well, all right, well, if you don't show it, guess what? Somebody will, or the listing agent will show it, right? So that can't be the situation, right? So what do some other people do? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take that buyer and I'm gonna let them know that, hey, in order for you to get this house, you're gonna have to pay my standard 3%. Okay, well, that's probably an uncomfortable conversation for the buyer, right? Talking to them and you're telling them like, hey, they're giving 1%. So now you're having the commission conversation about how they need to pay you more because this particular house that they chose that they like is a situation, so that's an uncomfortable conversation. So what do we do in that situation? So what I found is that there's a little sector called closing costs. And closing costs can actually mean different things. And it does not have to just mean, lender paid closing costs or attorney fees or inspector fees or whatever fees there is, home warranty fees. Like you're putting that in that sector. So I was actually going out and I was writing an offer for a particular buyer that I had, a client of mine, and the lender was, I was talking to them, I was letting them know, and the guy, I never forget this, I was getting off the phone and he was like, told me he was on the golf course at that particular time, and he was like, hey man, hey, don't forget to get enough closing costs. Well, what was he saying? He was saying, don't forget to get my fee. That's really what the lender was saying. Don't forget to get my fee. And like agents, we're the only ones that we are like, a lot of us think it's our job to collect a fee for the lender. And the reality of it is that we don't collect a fee for ourselves. So in that sector called closing costs, it can also include real estate agent fees. You can put your fee right there in that sector and be able to get whatever fee it is that you feel that your value is worth. And I don't think that everybody's value is worth the same. I don't think that my standard is 3% if I provide a little bit of extra service than everybody else. And if somebody doesn't provide as much service, their fee might be less than 3%. Is your choice in the matter. So like, I think everybody has a choice to choose whatever type of business that they want to run. So what I mean by that is like, you got Walmart and you got Target or Target, just depends on the situation, whoever you're talking to. So like Walmart has a business model that works for them. Target has a business model that works for them. Now it's expected that you're going to pay more for the same item at Target, but your experience is going to be different. And for that experience, there is a higher cost for that. And so that's the thing when it comes to when you're running your real estate business. You get to choose whatever type of experience that you want to have. So the biggest thing with this is disclosure. So, you know, you have to disclose all of this. You have to disclose, one, to the buyer that this is your fee. You have to set your fee, whatever it is. And you have to disclose it to the lender as well, what your fee is. Because what I found is that, you know, if you do not disclose it to the lender, if you, let's just say you get an extra $1,500 or $2,000 for your fee, magically the lender's closing cost is that total amount. So if I talk to the lender and say, hey, you know, make sure you collect 3% for me, you know, in order for the closing costs for the loan to go through, and I say, okay, no problem. And if I collect 3.5 or 4%, and if I don't disclose that to the lender, all of a sudden the closing costs that goes to the lender is going to be 4% instead of that 3%. So you have to disclose it to them, otherwise they, I'm not going to say steal it, but they use it, right? So that's the situation we're there. But you know, but if you don't disclose it, I mean, it really puts you in a bad situation, even with the buyer, because it could, you know, you could get to closing, you know, get to the closing, and then the buyer could, you know, have, you know, more money that they're saying they owe or something like that too. So, you know, you just got to make sure that you're doing the thing, you know, doing the business the right way in all situations. But you know, if you want to hear more about this subject, you know, I have I can give you tons of things just to tell you, like this strategy that I put out there. You know, one of my standards was a 3.5% fee and a $500 transaction fee on buyer side transactions, regardless what was in the MLS. Just the additional money that I was able to make was $100,000 over the normal commissions amount. And what did that money go towards? It went towards my services. It went towards my transaction coordinator that I had. It went towards my inside sales agent that I had. It went towards certain guarantees that I was offering to the buyer, which is one of them was, you know, guaranteeing them getting a home warranty, and guaranteeing them, you know, we had a buyback program if they wasn't happy within 24 months that we was able to buy their home back. So just having those particular services that the buyer wanted, you know, it was their choice if they wanted it or not, made all the difference in the world, because like we was able to fulfill that that part of it. But of course, like you got to charge for it, because it's a cost that that you have to endure, and it's passed on to, everybody knows it, to the client. So so if you like the information that that I'm saying here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like it as well. And I'll be happy to show you some more things that I've been able to do in order to grow my business.